Should be calling myself Reverend Rose because I'm sitting next to Reverend Rose Road. Rose Road, Rosalie, whatever, road here. Anyway, yes, happy, brilliant New Year. Because I think this year we really need to shine our inner soul and our beautiful divinity that we have. Yes, we're human beings on the planet, and that's not easy. I don't think anybody will contest that, especially nowadays. I don't watch the news, so I'm in a bubble. I prefer to be that way. And I had somebody the other day, I hadn't seen in a long time, and we were meeting and connecting over coffee, and we're talking, and she was saying something that was on the news that was really awful. And I looked at her, I thought, I have no idea what you're talking about. She said, how could you possibly not know this information? I said, because I don't watch the news. And she was quite shocked that I would have my head in the sand kind of a thing. And so I said to her, I said, you know, this is how I look at it. I can look at the news, and I could look at every horrible thing that's going on all over the place, because that's all they're going to tell you. They're not going to tell you all the good things and the miracle things and all the yummy things. And I said, and then I'm going to listen to them. And then I'm going to think, oh my goodness, that's awful. Oh, and my whole energy is going to drop. And she said, well, that's kind of selfish, because then how can you help if you don't know? And I said, that's exactly how I help. Because if I can continue to keep my energy elevated and keep that feeling of love and beauty and wonderfulness and goodness and joy in my mind and my heart as I go about the day, that electromagnetic energy of positivity is beaming out and adding upliftment to the world, as opposed to, now that I know about this, oh my God, because sometimes you can't unsee things, unhear things, and I'm sensitive that way. So I said, this is the way that I roll. And I feel that I'm doing more good, because every time I'm feeling joy, that is going out as a prayer, as a blessing to whatever calamity is going on in the world, as opposed to, oh no, that's happening. So that's just kind of how I've lived for the last, I don't know, 5 years. I just, if I hear something, I learn to step away from it. If I hear something negative, I'll just move away, and I'll imagine I'm sending a bliss bubble, which I'll explain later, onto the situation. And that angels are surrounding it and, you know, lifting up. Like last night, New Year's Eve, starts raining, you know, like at midnight, right when people are starting to leave and they've been drinking, and you're thinking, oh my gosh. And then I thought of all the homeless people. It's storming, you know, windows are rattling, it's cold. And I thought, oh my gosh, and they're on a street where it's going to be wet. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to think that thought. I'm going to imagine that beautiful, wonderful angels are swarming around these people, having them in a deep, lovely sleep, and kind of protecting them in this bubble that's up from the storm. Now, I can't go run out and save every homeless person, but I can put an energy of saving out there for them. So going into this new year, I thought, how can I do this year differently? Because we say the same things at the beginning of every year anyway, and then we usually don't do them. And I thought, okay, we don't know how long we're going to be here. It could be 5 minutes, or it could be decades longer that we're still here. And as I get older, you know, it narrows a little bit, just a little bit. And I think, okay, so when I leave this planet, am I going to feel like I really got my money's worth of being in life school, or did I just kind of skip over it a little bit? Did I really pull in everything that I have to express in this lifetime? Or did I dim my light? Did I? Anyway, all these questions, and I thought, you know what? My motto is, this is my year of brilliance. This is happy, brilliant New Year. And so I thought it'd be really great if all of us could tap into that divine brilliance that we are and focus on that part, working through a human body in this human lifetime that's amazingly challenging, depending on how you look at it, and bring forth everything you've got to uplift everything. And that's starting with yourself. We're taught all the time about the power of gratitude and appreciation, right? I mean, we could all write a book on that. We know that. I find that's one major thing missing in everything that I've heard from people teaching that. I never hear anybody say, let's start with, I am so grateful for me. I am created from the most beautiful, loving light of God. I've been very courageous to be here on a planet that's incredibly difficult. Why do you think angels aren't in human form? Right. Oh, no. We know what that's all about. That's too much. But we've taken on this mission to explore all these different experiences on this planet Earth, which can be very difficult. It can be very rewarding, very happy. We don't even know why we're here. We're just here. We've got to move it along, knowing that we have a higher purpose, knowing things are about experiencing different aspects of things that we chose to come down to experience. So how can we get an A+ in this course and really feel like we are here on the planet and we're good? We're good, because normally people don't walk around saying, hey, I'm good. We think, I'm good, but if I was only this, and this, I would really be good. So we always think about how we're not good or what we need to improve, not just thank God that I'm here, I'm me, I have a higher consciousness, I have a personality, I have talents, I have things that I can do, things that I can express of being me. And a lot of the little things we don't like about ourselves are meaningless and don't even count. So you just kind of throw those away. Really, just throw them away. And focus on, I really like me. I like being with me. And you're not thinking about, well, I wish I had more money. I wish I could lose 5 pounds. You know, I wish I could be healthy. I wish I could, you know, whatever we think about, forget it. Forget it. And you ask yourself, how can I show up in this world, in the time I have left, to really make it count, to be a blessing to myself, and feel that, and empower myself to such a state that I'm a walking ball of light, and in that way, you are in service to everyone. Not just the people you meet, but you're emitting that beautiful energy, and that goes everywhere. Everywhere. And I thought, well, that's kind of a tall order. Okay, so I'm going to do all that this year. But I thought, okay, well, that's got to be a motivator for me. And for New Year's resolutions, it was more of how can I show up being more the real me without the fears or the insecurities or, well, it's never worked in the past, it won't work again, I don't know what I'm doing, whatever it happens to be for us. If you get rid of them, how can you really shine? There's this saying that you've all seen this saying before, and you know how things will come up at a certain time for you and you go, oh, aha, oh yeah. Well, I read the saying, and I thought, yeah, I've heard that one before. And it says, if anything was possible, you know that one. what would you choose and what would you create? And then I kind of added, and what would you take action on? Then what would you do? And I thought, yeah, I need to be thinking more of that. So I found a really pretty picture of the clouds, and I wrote it in script on it and made it my screensaver. So every time I open up my laptop, bang, it reminds me. So if I'm in a situation where I'm thinking, you know, you're having difficulties, I think of that saying, okay, if anything was possible, and that is the key, if anything was possible. Because what happens when something is wrong, all we're focusing on what's not possible with it. So if anything is possible, what would you choose? What would you create? What would you do? Then whatever the problem at hand would be, I'd stop and I'd say, dear God, let me see this differently. And I would be open all of a sudden to a solution or a different way to go about it that I never thought about before. I kept thinking this is just one way, it's never going to work. I just spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on this computer ordering stuff to get this discount. That didn't work, but because if you're ordering from the catalog that says you get the discount, some of those don't apply, but they don't tell you what applied, and you call tech support, no, nobody can help you, you know, the hours are going by, and I thought, oh my God. I eventually figured it out. It took a long time. I figured it out, and I kept going back to, you know, there is a way this is going to work. Even though I'm not getting any help from anybody, I'm figuring this out. So going into this year, I thought I need to give people a visual, something that they can do to help them be their brilliant self. So I created a bliss bubble. Isn't that fun? I just love it. And in case I forget to say this, last night I made their mini devil's food cupcakes with mocha chocolate icing, and they're little ones. Those are like bliss balls. Okay? So I imbued the bliss bubble into those cupcakes.
Oh, nice.
Okay, the bliss bubble. I thought, okay, so when you wake up in the morning, it's really nice to meditate. It's kind of hard sometimes because all of a sudden we wake up into our lives again and go, oh, we have to do this and this and this. I thought, so what you do is, there's a beautiful bubble that's floating around, and Rev.Deborah, there's a bunch of cards under here, under this one, under this. We'll see by the offering. If you can hand me those, that'd be great. Thank you. I'm going to give this to you in a minute, but I printed it out for you. I don't expect you to remember the details, okay? So, in this bubble, it's filled with God's highest loving light, that beautiful, creative, divine energy that is permeating love and joy and fulfillment. So, in this bubble, it is being imbued with these qualities, and there's a lot, so I'm going to read them. I don't want to forget what. So we have, of course, divine love. We have wisdom, we need that. Appreciation. Appreciation is a little different than gratitude. Just a little bit. There's a little different feeling to it. Like, I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you. There's a subtle feeling to it. I kind of like both. I kind of like appreciation a little bit better, but whatever. And when I say appreciation, remember, you start with you. Just like in the airplane, you know, do your oxygen mask first, then the kids. You fill yourself up with all this good, wonderful stuff so you can beam it out and be your most dramatic, wonderful, fantastic, unique self. And then we have joy. Joy. We have to have joy. Abundance in everything, every area of your life. Vibrant health. Courage. It took a lot of courage just to be here, just to make the decision to come down to live an earthly life. That would, I think somebody probably kicked me down. I probably said, yeah, I don't think so. They must have it's really tough. Well, yeah, well, maybe later, not. Oh, hi, I'm here. And I was born a month early. It's like, oh, why? And then bliss, bliss, bliss. How often do we feel bliss? It seems like our feelings are kind of conditional, but bliss is like, oh yeah. Intuition, strength. Definitely, we need that strength to carry on for sure. Happiness, hey, happiness. Focus, focus. Talent, we all have talent. And we all have different kinds of talents. And a talent can be just the way somebody cleans their house in a certain way is very talented. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm a star on Broadway kind of talent. And I think this is a good year of developing new talents. Because sometimes we're really good at something that we don't know we're good at. We may not realize that we're really good at water painting, watercoloring, until you take a class or dabble in it, or YouTube will teach you everything you need to know for free. Prosperity. Yeah, baby. Prosperity. We need that. Confidence. That's a big one. Confidence. When we have confidence, we step out of the box and we try those new things. We become more of who we are because we're not shrinking back, go, oh, I'm not good enough, maybe this isn't going to work, but I really want to do this. It's like, oh, forget that. Forget it. Just do it. Time is short. Just do it. Compassion. Compassion. And some people get empathy and compassion confused. If I am with someone and they are hurting, if I'm empathetic, I'm hurting with them. When I'm compassionate, I have a wisdom and an understanding of their hurt, but I don't drop down into the hurt myself. And that's a difference. Understanding. Understanding. There's a lot in this world that we have no clue why. And the few times I do hear about something in the news, I think, oh God, why am I on this planet with little children that do not know anything at all about anything? Because it doesn't make any logical sense why people are the way they are when we listen to the news. It's like, what is this all about? So it's developing a wise, compassionate understanding of where others are coming from, so we're not so upset by them, even though their actions might be horrendous. And there's someone I know that's in my area that is very, very negative, very harmful. And I made a point to converse with them and kind of get to know their background a little bit. And when I understood the childhood, I could see how that person never let that go and is still acting from that hurt child. So now I have understanding. Do I condone the actions? No, but I understand why. And the last one, you'll think, this is going to be really good. It's something really little, but it is big. Patience.
No,
I want it yesterday. Patience, patience. Patience to know that whatever we're going through, there's always so many underlying levels and layers of things of why it is. And we're not going to always know the whole picture here of living. Hopefully one day we could on the other side and go, oh, okay, that's what it was all about. So when you're going through something trying, it's number one, be good to yourself. Just say, look, I'm okay. Regardless of the situation, there is a richness of experience, negative or positive, that I'm willing to learn from and say the words through joy. Let me learn through joy. And even if it's a yucky situation, how can you go through it as a blessing to the situation and to others? So let's say there's somebody that's about to be homeless. There's a lot of people that are in that category. And yet, if it does go to that, that person might have some very rewarding experiences and be a blessing to other people that he might meet, that he might normally not meet. So maybe he was meant to be there, and having that experience gives him a sense of appreciation for maybe what he had. We don't appreciate what we have till we lose it, right? And so that can be a very rewarding experience, but on the surface it's like, oh, that's like the worst thing ever, you know? So it's taking all of these beautiful aspects, or add more of your own, and viewing it in this beautiful bubble. So I'll pass them out in a minute, but for right now, I'm going to have you create your own bliss bubble. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes for a minute. And just take a nice, deep, wonderful, relaxing breath and exhale. And I want you to rub your hands together quickly. Create a little friction and warmth and energy in there. And then hold your palms up. Put your hands together, just like you're holding a beautiful bubble of light. It's a beautiful bubble. And you see the highest loving light of the divine beaming into the bubble, filling it with divine love and joy. And you see all these little tiny sparks of light inside the bubble. Each one is a beautiful blessing from God, specifically for you. You are known. Every particle of you is known by the divine and loved profoundly, just as you are. Take a deep breath and exhale. And now from your heart, you're pouring all of your love into this bubble. And as you do that, that beautiful love that you are, that you have for you, and God has for you, that's coming from your heart into the bubble, is making the bubble expand. And the bubble gets bigger and bigger, and you can put your hands back in your lap as the bubble, it's like a life-size bubble that you can step into easily. So imagine that you are stepping into this beautiful bubble of light. And feel all those little sparks, all that beautiful love for you that God has. And now you're going to fill the bubble with these qualities. So you let wisdom flow into the bubble and surround you. And you're inhaling all of this beautiful love and energy. At the same time, it's swirling around you in the bubble. And you bring in appreciation and joy And you allow abundance to flow in, and vibrant health, and courage, and bliss, and heightened intuition, and strength, happiness, focus, talent, bringing forth talents you don't even know you possess. Prosperity, swirling around, breathe that in. Yes, you are a prosperous, wonderful child of God. Confidence, bringing in confidence, compassion, divine understanding, and profound patience. And you let all of those qualities swirl around you, come into you. And now you think of a couple of times in your life when you have experienced profound joy and bliss and magic. And just think back on the feeling that you got from those experiences and bring in that uplifted feeling into your body.